All right, you guys are here with Bill 206 Media. We're doing a podcast called Social Science. We're here with two innovative engineers in the community, real living legends, Reco Bembry and Steve Sneed. And the group that they have, or they come together, is Sneeko. And so we're going to ask some questions about, just kind of get in. It's going to be an open conversation with these two brothers that have impacted hundreds of thousands of lives, not only in Seattle, but across the nation and across the world. So I appreciate you brothers being here, making time for us to share your guys' knowledge with the community at large. We want to really make sure that we're making some things happen.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Andre. Appreciate this.
For sure.
All right, so let's just jump into the questions. I know you guys been friends for a long time. I did a little bit of research on you guys, but If anything you want to pass on, just say, you guys can feel free to take the fifth.
Okay.
So how did you guys meet? Like, how did you guys really come to, how long have you guys known each other? How did you guys meet,
We were just talking about that. It seems like we first met in school at Garfield. We were in an art class together, and the thing I noticed about Reco in this art class was that he always had something funny to say. So he caught my attention just because he had us all laughing all the time. And we had this teacher, black man. And back then, when you had an afro, it had to be perfect. This man's afro looked like how they wear it today, right?
Right.
So Rico would talk about his afro. And I would think, like, why is that guy bothering this man about his afro? But seems like not long after. Now, see, he might remember it different, but
no, that's good. That's good. That's about it.
But it seems like not long after that, we were playing together in the Ogandes, which was an African drum and dance group, and that's where we really got to know each other. He was an excellent musician back then, is what I could see, and I thought, man, if I could be as good as him. I mean, I really used to think that back then because he was really good. And he could do some amazing things. I was good too now. Wasn't like I wasn't good.
Right.
but I saw some things he did that I thought, man. And secretly in my mind, I wasn't gonna tell him that, but in my mind I was like, I gotta up my game just to keep up with him.
And I think I kind of said the same thing. He was real fast. He had them real fast hands. I said, yeah, I'm going to work on my hand speed. So can't let that cat outdo me. So it was a secret competition, but a friendship.
Yeah.
And Steve didn't tell you this, though. See, Steve was funny, too, in that class. And I think it was that when you have an immense amount of creativity, and there was a lot of cats, they made it simple for you to complete task. And if you were a task master, you would get your work done quickly, then you didn't have nothing to do.
Right.
And so, you get the work done in school, in class, man. You just, what do you have left to do, man? But just
clown around. Right,
exactly. We just clowned it, man.
Yeah.
And then I remember the cementing moment for me was, I think when we both lost the people who were most important in our lives. His father was passing of cancer, and my uncle was passing of cancer. At the same time, so we were being funny,
right?
Yeah,
but there was also serious stuff going on in our lives, right?
Right.
And the drums for me, I got good because I was beating out the aggression,
right?
Yeah, me too.
And the anger and the stuff that I had. I could play the drums, man, and I just slap those skins, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember how that was such a release. I mean, till my hands would bleed.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were playing we playing hard back in the day, right?
Hands would bleed.
We was
so
15,
hard.
16, man. We was playing hard. We had calluses, proud calluses on our hands.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, bad calluses. I mean, you can see the
like in the creases.
From it.
Yeah, the creases and stuff, man.
Yeah.
The splits. We get them splits and be like, whoa.
Yeah. But, yeah, we played, what was unique about us is we played every prison in the state of Washington. And this was when we were like 15 to about 20 or so.
That's right.
21 maybe. Yeah, every prison, including Purdy.
Wow.
Yeah. And we did other things,
So why you mentioned Purdy, man? Why you?
Well, it's just always a surprise to me,
okay,
because they got a women's prison, man.
All right.
We only did it once. See.
Okay. All right.
But
so tell us more about that.
About the Purdy prison.
Yeah.
Why you want me to tell more?
You can take the fifth. Is that the?
I mean, it was just a shock to me because we had gone to Monroe, we'd gone to Shelton, and then all of a sudden we went to Purdy, and I didn't even know that there was a women's prison.
But you know there's one now, though, right?
Yep.
Okay,
I know it now.
All right. So it sounds like you guys really, even with the arts and the group that you guys were in or started, that was kind of community work for your guys' self, for you. Like, they may not even have known it, right? So so the next question kind of segues that, like, how did you guys get involved in community work? Because, we're going to get into kind of some of the stuff that you guys done or are proud of later, but but how did you guys get involved in community work?
Yeah, community work. I mean, it was, I think that it was just a result of how we grew up in the central area. We also played baseball. We were on 2 different teams, but, we went to school. We rehearsed at the church up there on 34th or 30th. I mean,
Right.
the community was more of a single place. So to work in community, we grew up in community.
Right.
I think after we went to college and we studied our craft, and it was just natural to say, for me at least, it was natural to take it back to the community. That was a part of my work, actually, was that I would take this learning from college in the arts and theater, and I take it back into the community. And, I had a program, or I have a program, I call it DCM, Discipline, Confidence, Motivation for the Arts. And that was actually my major in college under general studies, but it was designed to take theater back into the neighborhood and to teach these I call them skills, discipline, the skill of discipline and being confident and how to be motivated, driven to do something. I did that. That was intentional to bring it back to the community.
So where that seemed to come from was, just to take it back a step, I remember doing or watching activity at Black Arts West. And Black Arts West sort of came out of and was an institution that was birthed out of the Black Panther movement.
Okay.
And out of the civil rights movement and all that. And I remember them cats would be disciplined. And so we were in a part of I was a part of the junior cats. It was all about discipline and holding your head up high, being confident, right? And being motivated. They had programs and stuff, man, that yielded stuff like the Central Area Motivation Program.
Right.
Then as we got older, I was a South End cat. Steve was really a CD dude, right? I was living in the South End, so it was like neighborhoods were a bigger deal then than it was affiliations.
Now let me just say, when he says South End, he means, to me, it was still central, because South, we think of, way out at like Rainier Beach.
Yeah, so I was at the north end of the South End. So Judkins was considered kind of like the cusp of the South End. That's when you get to Judkins, everything south of Judkins was South End.
Right. Back then.
See?
But now it's like, for us, like Franklin was the crossover. That was like, in like Burger King and all that was neutral zone. But technically, the South streets go all the way up to Jackson, right? It's Jackson Street south, right? And then Yesler is a switch over,
Correct. But back then, Judkins was the borderline, because if you live south of Judkins, you go to Franklin.
Right.
If you live north of Judkins, you go to Garfield.
Right. But you went to Garfield.
I was on Judkins.
So whose address you use?
I was on Judkins.
Okay.
I was right on Judkins. But see, on the right side of the street, not the left side of the street.
Okay.
All my neighbors and all my partners I hung up with were on the left side, the Franklin side, right?
Franklin side.
So it was a trip. So I had to walk, rock and run to school all the way to Garfield. So I had homies and partners at both schools.
Right.
So it was different, man. And I think then the community work, we were on different baseball teams and competed against each other in middle school, and then the same baseball team in Garfield.
Yeah, in high school,
See?
Yeah.
And I think the community work for me came out of, I'm one of 11 brothers and sisters. So I had 10 brothers and sisters. And so we knew what we needed and we knew what was missing.
Right.
And so it started in us going out to get what we needed for our family to survive. And then when you start seeing other families with that need as you get older, you just start naturally doing that, right? So kids don't have to tell me they're hungry. I can go into a house and see, man, these kids ain't eating.
Right.
So that's kind of what it started from, is like, how do you reduce the risk in a kid's life, build the needs, meet the needs, and build the competencies? Because it was just about what my family needed and then growing that.
Right.
And it became, you know, work and activity, and it wasn't even like for pay.
Right.
It was just about
who you were.
who I was, man.
Right.
What we learned. Because we had training that was unique. And we've been talking about this a little bit, man. The training that was unique. We had the Pullman Porter training with the revolutionary training.
Right.
Pullman Porter, our parents and grandparents, right?
Right.
How to talk to folks, you know, how to be respectful, how to do all that.
Right.
And then our big brothers, cousins, and homies and big dudes in the neighborhood was like, you know, power to the people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, F the police, whatever. So we had the combination.
So you guys are like the crossover, like the hybrid, like the hybrid.
Absolutely, man.
Okay.
It's like funk music between R&B and hip hop.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And we came up in the funk era.
Right.
Yeah. But the church, I want to make the point that the church was instrumental in that as well.
Right.
And the church we rehearsed at with the African Drum and Dance Group was Grace Methodist Church, and like I say, they were in that sort of cusp of the neighborhood. So we had people from Franklin. We actually had people from Nathan Hale, Franklin, Garfield, who were a part of this African Drum and Dance Group, and that was a type of community work in our eyes, because we would, you know, we didn't always get paid. It wasn't like a paid thing. It was something.
That's when you guys were. You started that when you were kids. That's the group you were saying you started
15,
when.
Yeah.
Okay.
We started about 15, and like I say, we played a lot. We played at the festivals, the Black community festivals, Langston Hughes, the prisons, as I said earlier, and that was serving the community, right? Because you have to figure back then, putting on African-like clothes and playing the drums,
right?
That was a new thing,
right?
Because the schools had them also, and so this was work to sort of redefine who we are as a people. We're proud of our heritage.
Right.
We're proud to come from Africa. We're proud of the drums and what it means, and you know that was a statement back then for pride. And so yeah, that was a strong part for me, at least that work that we were doing in the community with the with the
so it was
ensemble.
Church, culture, community, and remember, man, our instructor was Yakub Adi.
Yakub Adi.
Yeah, he's from Africa.
So he showed us how to hold your hands, you know, in hitting the drum. We were just slapping it before, right?
Right.
And then he said, no.
Right.
There's 5 different ways to hold your hands to make the different sounds on the drum.
Right.
Whew. You couldn't stop us.
Couldn't stop us, man. Couldn't stop us. Because I wanted to do my thumbs. I had the thumb thing. He said, no. Until he figured out what I was doing, he said, okay.
So who are some of the members in your guys' group? Let's shout them out.
Oh, wow. Well, Darcel Hubbard at the time, she was one of the key dancers. I met my wife in the group.
Okay.
Vita
Oliphant Sneed.
Vita Oliphant Sneed, right? Her sister, Lynn Oliphant.
Arnita Hall.
Yeah.
Freddie Hall.
Her brother, Freddie Hall. Edward Clayton.
Edward Clayton. Robbie the Robot.
So now we got to mention everybody now.
I mean, I want to shout out. That's his history. So
yeah.
Franklin Cat. His sister.
Yeah. You talking about? Are you talking about George?
No, his sister.
His sister.
Robbie's sister.
Oh yeah. Terry.
Right.
Yeah, Terry. She was with us a long time too.
Robert Clayton. Edward Clayton.
Yeah, that's it. Edward.
His sister. Robin Clayton.
There's a few others. Frank. Linda Holden. Can't forget Linda Holden.
Yeah, Linda Holden, man.
Let you know.
Yeah.
Linda Dysart.
That's right. Yeah. Pam. Remember Pam?
My name is P-A-M.
Pam.
Let you
Pam
know.
Delgado.
Pam Delgado,
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
We've been
pound
talking
down.
about trying to have a reunion, and of course we haven't figured out how to get this done yet. But
Yeah, Joey Austin. So
Joey
there was a lot of
Austin.
members,
Your
man, that
brother.
came in and out.
Your
Greg
brother.
Anderson.
Right, Greg Anderson.
A lot of members came in and out.
Gardenhires.
But there was the core
Yeah.
group. Yeah, John Gardenhire.
Right.
Gina Gardenhire.
Gina Gardenhire.
Well, let us know how Bill can support that. You know, we got the tents, tables, and chairs, and all that stuff.
Oh,
I know,
yeah,
I know a little bit about planning events and logistics and stuff.
A
So
little bit about
if
that.
you need some help and support, you know what I mean. You know,
That's good.
Yeah.
living legacy. You know, what I mean, we want to support and Black living legacy. We definitely want to support those types of opportunities. And this, you know, we were talking a little bit earlier before we got on camera about the impacts of gentrification. That would be a opportunity to bring community together, or you know, your guys' community together, to offset the impacts of gentrification. 'Cause I'm sure you guys all lived around the same area, and we're in
everybody
community
was in the
now.
city.
Everybody's kind of spread out, so
Yeah.
that definitely falls in line with what with what we're into. So we appreciate you guys sharing that piece of information about the team that you guys are with.
Well, and the thing about that team, I guess I want to be clear, and I tell people this all the time. I'm doing the same work I was doing since I was 15. The work we had to do to be in that group and to work together, right? To be patient with each other, to understand how to get along, how to come together and form something that went out and performed.
Right.
That was a lot of coordination. I look back and I say, man, how did we actually do that?
At
We had
15.
to get in our cars, pack up our stuff, be there on time with our costumes, right? And deliver a product. And we messed it up sometimes, believe you me. I can remember times. But for the most part, 7 years we did that together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Remember we went to that church, man, the woman didn't pay us. No, the dude didn't pay us.
Right.
So we had to
Man.
stole purses.
Stealing
We said,
purses.
we taking all the purses till we get paid. We got paid.
You're gonna pay us one way or the other.
Right.
Hey.
But the time, you remember the time in Shelton?
When the girls got their purses
they
taken.
took all our money,
Yeah,
right?
the brothers, man, got together, man, and they got that money.
Right.
Yeah.
We filled out the prison guards. They said, well, fill out this form. You know, we filled out the little form. He said, okay, we'll have your money back in a couple of weeks. Don't you know, before we left that prison, them brothers had our money. Cash. Before we left that day.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
was organized. They told me, they organized in here.
Oh, yeah.
They know what's going on.
So you're gonna get that back to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's respect right there.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
we was
real
kids,
respect.
man. So we learned something about that.
Yeah.
That just because a cat is incarcerated doesn't mean that he's not powerful and a leader and organized, right? So that was a learning for us, man. We worked with a lot of good brothers when we were 15, 14. We were getting that knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, we were getting it.
Even or competent. Some of our brightest minds are locked down, right? You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
even
that's
just knowing that they have the values of Corvette, because that's a value, right?
That's
You
right.
guys install somebody
That's
who came and did something for us.
Right.
We're gonna make sure we take care of that, like right now. You know, we
That's
ain't
right.
we ain't waiting for no
Right.
month process. We're gonna get it right now. You know, so that's integrity, right?
Yeah.
That's dope.
For real.
So who or what inspires and or motivates you, and why? You know, so you could talk about back then, now, or whatever, like whatever sparks off that. I know it's a lot, right? But you know, kind of drilling into a few things that you guys want to talk about, like who and what inspires you and or motivates you, and why.
Well,
So I can start.
you got that one.
So I would say, as a musician, I was always moved by how the creative arts, music, art, drama, was in the forefront of change in society. So when you even look at groups like Earth, Wind, and Fire, or you go back further, you look at Gil Scott-Heron, you look at the Last Poets, you look at a number of the groups, man, that made statements, you know, Aretha Franklin, you know, respect.
Right.
Look at James Brown, you know, Say It Loud.
Right.
And so they had these themes, and that was inspirational for me in a creative place. But then looking at the struggle of people, man, like Mandela getting locked up, man, and we thought he'd never get out, right? You know, just the inspiration from folks in the civil rights movement. And I realized clearly that there were so many people behind the one man that's out front.
Right.
And my inspiration came from the teams of people that it took to make things happen, right? And it's never one dude, There's always got to be one dude because there's usually one mic.
Right.
But behind that dude,
there's a whole band.
There's a team behind Sneeko Productions. There was Darcel, Carol, Reco, Steve, and a host of other people.
Right.
You feel me? So that was my inspiration. It was just multiple leaderful communities.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that reminds me of how I was really inspired by what we could do together, because and like I say, that goes back to the Ogandes and first play we did. That's why I always like to work with a lot of people, because together we could really do so much. We could do a lot, and it was always incredible to me that we could do that. But I read the autobiography of Malcolm X in 8th grade, so that really kind of, I remember reading that book and thinking, man, we've been really messed up in this country. That's when I sort of got a spark to be concerned about the condition of black people in this country, and that's when I was motivated by that. I would have to say it just gave me it juiced me up, because I couldn't believe that he went through all that, but yet he had that kind of potential to educate himself and to come out of prison and to lead in the way he did. But yeah, I'm really inspired by the collective of people, and that's why I've always tried to do all I could to unify and work with people.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Oh, we got commercials. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick commercial break. All right, we're back here with Bill 206 Media. Once again, we're here with Steve Sneed and Reco Bembry. So we're going to jump back into these questions. So you guys already kind of talked about this a little bit, but you guys might want to dive into other things that you guys done. So the next question is, tell us about some of the work you are doing or have done in the community. So you guys talked about some things at a high level, but this is an opportunity to kind of, dive into some other things that you're doing now and things that you've done in the past.
Well, I mean, a lot of people know I was the coordinator there, the official title, but I was the director at Langston Hughes Cultural Arts Center for 11 years. I spent 11 years of my life there doing
11 years?
a lot.
Wow.
It was 11 years, yeah. And it was 20 years ago now. But, yeah, I was really proud to be able to have that opportunity, man. I felt so good about finally having that spot and being able to work there and just contribute to the arts. Having grown up, performed there as a kid and, seen plays there, it was just an incredible opportunity, I felt. And it was really at the point where they were going to either close it down and build another space. And I remember the coordinator at the time told me that. She said, yeah, they're going to tear it down. They're going to build a Garfield on Pratt Park site, a Garfield and a Langston. One spot would have the theater and a gym, all on that location there at Pratt Park.
So they're going to do a Garfield Community Center and
they're going to do the new Garfield Community Center and the Langston Hughes all
together.
And this is like '89, right?
Right.
When they were talking about this, and they had the plans for Langston, or they had done their studies, and it was probably the two of us that changed all of
that. Talk about that a little bit.
Well,
that's real, right? That's
yeah. You know, the spaces were old, and they knew they had to do something different. The theater at the time, Langston Hughes had a leaky roof.
Mm-hmm.
It was leaking water bad. We'd have garbage cans.
We'd do
on
shows,
stage,
man. It'd be beep,
beep.
Real
From that
talk,
big old
man.
dome,
Right.
you know. But they had a grant, about $800,000 to fix the roof. They just didn't know if they wanted to put it into it,
right,
because you know it still needed other work too, and nobody was using it.
right.
In the 80s, it was empty. It was a ghost town. And we were using it to rehearse for our other shows, right?
That was before you got the position there.
Before I got the position. We were just used because it was empty. I said, we can rehearse here. And so developing that relationship with them to do that, I discovered how empty it was. Eventually, I got the position because the woman there asked me to come on board. But we did a musical called Peer Pressure. And this was probably one of the first times within parks that you had a teen program, for one, because they really focused on kids and adults.
Right.
But they didn't really have anything for teens, right? And so we did this Peer Pressure, which had, you know, the topics of gang violence and drugs and the things going. And, you know, Reco wrote the music and, you know, so the composition of it was youthful and something people had not really seen before, right? This was, we had material. I think James Lawley wrote a lot of the material. We had a bunch of kids in it. We actually had toured it.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to tell all of that story, but we actually toured it.
No, tell it, man. You retired now. We can tell it. Just tell them, man. Tell
Okay,
them.
so
Yeah.
we had a grant to do this piece. And so we were developing the piece, right? And I wasn't working there. Right? So we had it on tour. We got the piece together. Let's make a statement. Let's make a statement video. You should play that. So that's the
Nice tour, big tour to the east side.
big tour to the east side. He knows
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah, east side of the water. We're going over to Bellevue, Mercer Island.
Because part of the deal we had, part of the grant, it was a county grant, like for culture, now it's called, but it allowed us to go to outlining parts of the county because they were so white.
Right.
And so we would bring them cultural stuff, although they were starting to change. But
But a part of the grant was to involve dudes that were actively involved or on the verge of being involved in gang activity.
Right.
right.
From different communities.
Right.
Together.
Yeah.
Together.
Okay.
Okay.
So we do that, and we perform.
But I knew how to deal with that. But the dude who went on tour with them, Clinton, was it Clinton?
Clinton, yeah, it was Clinton.
See,
yeah.
he wasn't really.
Yeah, we
He
rented
kind
a
of new
van
shoes,
and
man. New shoes. He
had
was
a tour coordinator. Yeah. Well, they performed at what was it? What is that called? Crossroads Community Center.
That's
And
in Bellevue, right?
It's in
Yeah.
Bellevue, new
Okay.
community
This is
center.
in the 90s?
It was brand new.
This was in the 90s, right?
Okay.
bad community center.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was nice.
Still smelled
fresh,
new.
clean, right?
Carpet
Right.
smelled new.
And here we come out with this play that deals with gangs and so on, and we got,
Packed.
this dude, he's flashing gang signs in the play.
He got happy, man. He was, he couldn't help himself.
Crossroads didn't know. He was playing a gang member in the play, but he wasn't supposed to do all that.
Right.
Right. No signing, right?
Crossroads didn't know they had gang members in the
their
neighborhood.
right.
Pyru, big, just blowing up.
man.
Bellevue Bloods.
Right.
Ooh.
B&B.
They saw them signs and they go back. The little kids go back and get the
big
brothers
brothers.
and whatnot. And they come back throwing chairs, about to jump
Oh,
on.
wow.
And the actor's like in the middle of the play, he got to run out.
Yeah, he had to run,
Run.
catch the bus home.
Wow.
He runs out, and the whole play is over now, right? They
Right.
shut it down, but they shut the community. It ended up on the news and everything. They shut the community center down for like a week or so
For training and redevelopment.
because they had to figure out how do they deal with this gang problem that
That's
they didn't
now
know
in
they
their
had.
community that they didn't know. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So then he ended up hiring
I
a
don't
brother
remember.
from Yesler
Right.
Community Center.
That's
Right.
what's up.
Yeah,
And they put him in there,
you're right.
right? And after him came in Charles.
Oh, Charles came in too.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
After
yeah.
he got the job in Bellevue, then Charles came and
Which is-
Isaiah came.
And
Got the
that's
job
how
at
they got
Yesler?
the-
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yes.
Correct.
Right. That's right. Charles.
So it's just a domino effect, right?
Right, that's right. They brought Charles in at Yesler. Yeah. So after that, I got the hire, which allowed me to bring the play and a bunch of other folks that were working on the play as a tour into Langston Hughes as a stage play.
Right.
But the department didn't know he started a gang fight at Bellevue.
They didn't know that part.
That's all right.
They didn't know that part.
They don't need to
now.
They don't need to know.
They know now. See,
They just find it out. Yeah.
policy change.
Yeah, that was a big policy change. You figure for Bellevue also, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, so that was a big deal. They wrote about it in their newsletter at Parks, and because they identified now teen programming for the first time, they said, "Oh, this works for teens, musical. Oh man, that's a nice." It was a new thing, and so that then became the switch in terms of Langston, the building. What do we do with it?
Right.
Now it's its own entity. It started from there to grow into being something that you don't tear down.